Good morning. Can y'all hear me all right? Thank you for joining us on this Coming Out Sunday. This is a full and rich and beautiful service for us each year, and I am so glad that you are with us. I've been ruminating on this text for some time now, and I'm delighted to share some of my reflections with you. Last Saturday, I woke up with this phrase resounding in my mind: I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Over and over, it kept creeping back into my thoughts. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Since it wouldn't leave me, on Sunday morning, I shared this poem with the teens. I was overwhelmed by its beauty and its capacity to express something I had been hoping to articulate for some time now. I want our teens to know that sense that God is among and within us, that God created us just as we are, out of God's own sense of reverence and hopeful anticipation. I want our teens to know that we are of God's creation, and God's works are wonderful. Most importantly, I want them to know that God means for us to be our whole selves. This is why I love the Psalms. Poetry has a way of getting deep into our hearts, connecting with us in an intimate, emotional way that never leaves us. The author of this poem is searching for a way to convey the strange and beautiful sensation of intimacy with the divine. That electrifying sense that God is among us, with us, and loves us. Marcus Borg puts it like this: God is like the wind that moves outside us and the breath that moves inside us. We are in God even as God is also in us. The divine unknowable that holds all things together is in all. God is in us and we are in God. God is not somewhere else observing us. God is in our very breath. God is among us. In our moments of great joy, God is beside us. In the depths of our despair, we are enveloped by God. When we are kind and when we are cruel, God is among us. Guiding us toward our most whole, full, and healthy selves, we are surrounded by God, and God is within each of us. And so God knows us. As opposed to knowing in a scientific sense, this is a relational, intimate sort of knowing. That kind of knowing that comes with abiding with someone. Like a dance partner who can envision your next step. God knows you. The spirit of creation, the source of life, is with us and in us, nudging us in wisdom and waiting in anticipation for us to proclaim that we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Waiting for us to recognize that the God of creation formed us, so it must be good. Because if we know anything about God's work, it's good. The psalmist can sense that there is something so beautiful and precious within each of us, that the spirit of life breathed into us, creating a sense of reverence, honor, care, and tenderness, with a sense of wonder and anticipation for who we might be. How beautiful is it that the divine spirit of creation permeates every living thing? It is beautiful to imagine how every act of reverence and wonder that is shared and expressed offers us an opportunity to participate in sharing that divine love with others. The risk of not honoring our own neighbor's dignity and beauty is too high. There are too many people struggling with depression and shame because they have been told that they are anything less than wonderful. Last week, a transgender teen committed suicide in San Diego County. If you're paying attention from my previous sermons, that brings us up to 5. this year. 5 that we know about. 5 teens who were actively involved in the LGBT centers. Now, I'm wise enough not to necessarily correlate being transgender, having depression, and having feelings of being less than. They are not the same, and they are not necessarily connected. But I have enough lived experience to know that it's hard for all of us, each one of us. It is hard to recognize how fearfully and wonderfully made we are. We need to carry these words with us for ourselves, for the struggling friend, and even for those who we just can't stand. We are all fearfully and wonderfully made. Do me a favor and turn to your neighbor on the left and or on the right and say these words with a smile. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. On this Coming Out Sunday, we are here to celebrate our brave kin who have seen the beautiful work of God in their lives and told us who God created them to be. Our friends and family have come out because they know deep down that they are fearfully and wonderfully made, and they cannot support living any other way. We celebrate our beloved and brave community of people who boldly proclaim, just as the psalmist did, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. They know full well that all God's works are wonderful. May we all be so brave. Amen.